Now, World Environment Day is celebrated on June the 5th annually to encourage awareness in environmental protection. According to the United Nations, the celebration of this day provides us with an opportunity to broaden the basis for an enlightened opinion and responsible conduct by individuals, enterprises and communities in preserving and enhancing the environment. The theme of the World Environment Day 2020 is celebrating biodiversity. Well, Caleb Adebayo, lawyer and team lead, Earthplus, joins us now for more. Thank you so much for joining us on the program, Caleb.
Thank you very much. It's great to be here.
So the theme for this year's World Environment Day is biodiversity. What do you think the significance of this is?
Okay, thank you very much, Teniola. Since 1974, the world has celebrated World Environment Day, and for the World Environment Day for 2020, it was thought that we have come to a time where our biodiversity and the threat to it is both urgent and existential. And this was gleaned from the events that happened towards the end of last year into the beginning of this year. We had the Amazon fires, we had the Australian bushfires, we had the spread of the coronavirus. And all of these things just brought the world to see that indeed we have to start looking more closely at our biodiversity and how it has been affected by our activities. And as a result of that, the United Nations decided, let's talk about biodiversity this year. Let's talk about the plants and the animals that are around us, and even more because the Sustainable Development Goals, this is supposed to be the decade of action. 2020 is supposed to start the decade of action. And so for the United Nations, it seemed like a very good time to say, let's really look at the things around us that form our ecosystem, and let's see how we can mitigate the threats that are facing biodiversity.
But what, in your opinion, are the biggest challenges to our biodiversity, I mean, in the world, and let's focus here in Nigeria today?
The biggest threats, there are quite a number of them. First, I'll say is knowledge. There's a lot of lack of knowledge about what biodiversity really means to us. And even when it's mentioned today, there are a lot of flyers going around for World Environment Day today, and some people see it and wonder, what exactly is biodiversity? It sounds bio, and they're thinking something having to do with biology, some really serious concept. We don't even want to think about it. You bring bio, you bring diversity, but it's as simple as the organisms, the life that exists around us. So it just makes us to know that beyond humans, there are other life that exists on planet Earth that we must be conscious about. And so the first thing that people need to, the first challenge to people protecting biodiversity, or the first challenge that we have for facing biodiversity, is that people don't even know what it is. People don't even know why it's important. For instance, the honeybee is a very important species of living organism that we need, in fact, for our survival. Research has it that if we have the honeybee die off the earth, human beings cannot survive because ecosystems essentially are interdependent on one another. And so first thing is people need to know, people need to understand what exactly biodiversity is and how it affects each and every one of us. Secondly, there needs to be a stepping back on how many things we eat and consume as human beings. So the level of consumption in Nigeria in terms of animals is another challenge to biodiversity. So you see people eating even what is really not meant to be eaten. And apart from the ecosystem challenges, it presents a number of health challenges as well. A few months ago, I witnessed in a video where a couple of people here in Nigeria were dragging a sea lion across the road, essentially to go and kill it for meat. And the sea lion is one of the most endangered species in Nigeria. And so I think those present two of the biggest challenges to biodiversity in Nigeria. Of course, we also have more macro issues like climate change and industrialization.
Yeah. So much to talk about on this issue. Caleb Adebayo, lawyer and team lead of Earthplus. Thank you so much for joining us. Unfortunately, we've run out of time. Thank you once again for joining us on The World Today.
Thank you.